Welcome to Kung Fu Havoc number 2. Video blog number 2 is going to be about how difficult it is to live up to the person you're named after. Of course, you guys know by now, if you've been watching, if you're one of my fellow supporters and know about my epic fails and whatever, my name is James Williams Jr. I am named after my father. My father is a good and decent man while he was alive as far as I know. He wasn't a saint, I'm sure, because there are no saints except for Mother Teresa, and she's passed, and they keep replacing the Pope, so you don't know nothing about the Pope before he was the Pope, so you can't say he's a saint, and you can't say he's not, but since there's always a new Pope, the Pope is like granted sainthood, so I guess they just like cleanse him in holy water and wash away all his sins, and his past just magically disappears. Okay, that's cool. I'm not a Catholic, and if I've offended any Catholics, I'm sorry. No, I'm not really sorry. Okay, I am sorry. But anyway, moving on to what I was saying. So I was talking to people at work, and there's not too many people at work that are juniors. How, fortunately, are they? My name is James Williams Jr. My middle name is Edward. Yes, I'm not happy with the name that I have been given. So let's take it back to my Native American grandmother who married a black man and named her fucking son James Edward Williams Sr. Couldn't go with tradition and marry another Native American. Couldn't go with tradition and give us Native American names. No, we had American names. And not just American names. My name sounds as white can be. James Williams Jr. Oh, excuse me. I left off my least favorite part of my name. James Edward Williams Jr. Now, I don't know if Edward and Eduardo mean the same damn thing, because it took me a while to find out that something was George in Spanish. I forgot, but it doesn't. Oh no, fuck it, I can't remember. But anyway, so living up to my father's name, which is now also my name, is like the hardest thing ever. Especially like when I go to his hometown, everybody knows Woody Goody, and I'm like, yeah. That's not me. I'm not my father. I will never be half the man my father was. I'm not even going to continue to try because I want my own fucking identity. So then someone once told me way back in the day, back when I was in school, it's like, so what are you going to do when you have a kid? Are you going to name him James Edward Williams III? I said, hell no. No, hell to the fucking no. This name dies with me. If I live long enough to have children, they get their own damn identity so they don't have that stigma of, your dad was good at this. Now I'm a martial artist. So they'll naturally expect my son to be a great martial artist. They'll expect him to be better at martial arts than I was. And I would hope that the little bastard would be better than martial arts than I was too. But the thing about having a reputation and having your child have to live up to it is like, I took a different path from my dad, alright? My dad never finished high school. He got a decent job. I think he said he was in the 8th grade. And then he never stopped working from there. Okay, about that, yeah. When I got out of the 8th grade, I was working too. I'm still working till this day. And I haven't, unfortunately, found the career choice that I want. And of course, the career choice I really want, Hollywood's not knocking down my door. Hollywood East was an epic fail around here in Virginia. And whatever movies that studio is making, they're not knocking down my door. So I didn't really take the path my dad took. My dad liked driving big dump trucks and rigs. I need a job where I can get off my ass and move around. Now my dad has jobs like that too. He's been a cook. He's been a dishwasher. He worked at a restaurant where chicks walked around in half naked clothes and things. No, it wasn't Hooters. Hooters didn't exist at that time, but it was down at Rushmere Shore. I'm sure all the ladies remember him. I wish I would have known the ladies back then, but I don't. He's done a lot of things. He was a mechanic. He was a man of many factors. Where me also being a man of many factors, I have no mechanical skills whatsoever outside of changing spark plugs and changing oil. Oh yeah, and I can change a tire. That's about where my mechanical skills fall apart right after that. Anything other than that, oh yeah, I can change a battery. So those 4 things I can do, but I can't put a stereo in a car. Alright? So I'm like totally mechanically inclined outside of some basic upkeeps, that everybody should practically know. I can't change my windshield wipers, but I can change the tire. So luckily for me, there's this cute little invention they call fucking Rain-X. Alright? So yeah, if you can't change the tire, hey, I'm sorry. You should be able to change the tire if you're a dude. If you're a chick, you gotta learn how to change the tire. That way you never have to ask a man for help. But as a man, if you can't change a windshield wiper, yeah, take that shit to AutoZone. That's what I do. But for changing my tire, I can do that. I still have enough macho in me that I can do that. I'm not supposed to do that because I'm not supposed to do any heavy lifting, but you know what? Fuck it. If I'm stranded somewhere and I need to change that tire, you better bet your sweet ass I'm going to change that tire. So, as I was saying, living up to your father's name. If you're a junior, I don't know if women have the luxury of being named after anyone. I'm not going to name my first daughter Arlene Marie. I think my mom can keep that. I'm not going to name my first daughter Clara Bay, which was my other grandmother's name. And I'm not going to name her Marie, because my grandma Marie, we call her Pocahontas. But I'm not going to name my kid Pocahontas. I'm not going to name her Sacagawea unless my wife agrees to that shit. So anyway, I don't know if women have that issue, but as a man, living up to my father's name has been the fucking pits. You have anybody going around, hey, Dad, that's Jimmy. That's the son of Woody Goody. He's a good fella. It is hell being a good guy. You guys have no idea how easy it would be just to go evil and just snap necks and stuff. But, my dad was a good man. And being that I'm named after him, and I'm the oldest son, I have to follow the fucking rules of society, which says you have to live up to your father's name. So you have to be better than him. Okay, there's a big fucking flaw in that program. The only thing I can say to my father, as far as I know, he has never been to jail. We got that in common. I've never been to jail. But I have worn the iron bracelets on more than one occasion. I'm not exactly proud of it, but it has happened. And it has happened because living up to my father's name, trying to be the good guy, has caused me to wear irons on more than one occasion. As I told you guys before, when I got the fist burger to the eye because some little jackass skipped up to the window and stole me in the face while I was trapped in a seatbelt because I'm driving his car, which my cousin stole and told me it was his car. Got that? There was a little bit of confusion there. Then I got handcuffed down at university because two of my cousin's cousins got to fighting over a fucking cigarette. There's your recap. Again, living up to my father's name, I'm pretty sure I've tarnished it by all the speeding tickets that I've had and being handcuffed twice. And my father's never been handcuffed that I know of. And if he has not told me, so it's kind of a catch-22. What you don't have knowledge of, you can't really have access to. So if I don't have knowledge if my dad's been handcuffed or not, then I don't. However, I do have knowledge that if you have a speeding ticket, you have been arrested, and my dad has caught plenty of speeding tickets. So there's another thing that we have in common. Our views were never really eye to eye until months before he passed. He started seeing things a little bit more my way because I kind of broke it down to him. If I was your daughter and you allowed this, I would never speak to you again. Now, as far as I'm your son, boys can't get pregnant. All right, so I don't have to worry about some dude raping me and making me pregnant. So but I'm pro-choice and not so much pro-life. And he was pro-life, not so much pro-choice. But before he passed, he became more pro-life because I broke it down to him. Women go through a lot of shit. If you are their father and you don't support them, you're just as horrible as the monster that raped them in the first goddamn place. Once he got on board that shit, never came up again. It was cool. Now, there's a lot of things that my father had issues with. And I had those issues as well. But, as for me being better than him, there's no fucking way in hell I'm ever going to fill those shoes. Ever. All I can do is try. So if I live long enough to have children, no, I'm not naming them after me. However, my father did want a daughter to be named Jamie Elizabeth. So that's a consideration. I don't think that shit's going to happen, but that's a consideration. I want to go more traditional and probably give them more of our cultural name from maybe Cherokee background type names and stuff like that. And, the good thing about being a chick is that at the end, when she gets married, she can change her fucking name. Alright? So she can knock off the being sitting in the back of the classroom, because I hated my last name. And either last name that we would have had from my dad's side, I'd have still wound up in the fucking back. Alright? Because my dad's last name was Williams. His mom's last name was Ford. So we might have been fine with that if they would have been born out of wedlock. But her mom's dad's last name, who was Cherokee Indian, his last name was fucking Wallace. So, W or W. If we would have got that F, James Ford, that would have been cool. I would have been able to sit in the middle, and then I would have to wait for like 4 days to do my damn report when the teachers decided to go in alphabetical order. I hate being in the back of the line. I hate that shit with a fucking passion. I'm glad I'm not named Zhang. That would really fuck up my whole day. But you know, living up to my father's name has not been easy. I'm probably never going to do it. And for those out there who have to live up to their father's name, you know, your father was in the army, so you joined the army. Your father was a cop, so you joined the cop. Your father was a firefighter, so you joined the firefighter. Hey, I'm not judging you. I am saluting you. Because my father wanted to go to the army, but his vision was bad, so he couldn't go. And I don't know if he was physically fit. Plus, he had a heart attack at 25, so that's pretty much a done deal that he probably wouldn't have made it into the physical training. My Uncle Robert Henry went to the army, and he's the only uncle on my father's side that I know of that went to the military. I just met my Uncle Bryson, like, after my Uncle Bruce passed away. So, yeah, it's kind of some touch and go stuff there. I still need to try and go back down to Smithfield and get to know him a little better. And to Alabama to hang out with my uncle. Right now, I don't have the funds for any of that shit, so it's not going to happen. Now, my mother's side, I had at least 3 uncles that went into the military. Maybe 4. I'm not going to swear to it because I don't have time to go into all that detail. But only one of my cousins, or 2 of my cousins, are juniors. And the other ones were named after our grandfather. So, my cousins Russell and Emmett had to live up to a great-grandfather who loved his grandkids. I can't say he loved his children because the way they talk, he loved some more than others, but I think that's just like natural for family. I'm not going to swear to that. But my cousin JC, he's named after his father. And my cousin Sammy is named after his father. Okay, 3, because my cousin David Jr. is named after his father. So I'm not the only junior, but I'm probably the only one that's striding like hell to live up to our father's names. Alright? I think Sammy went to the Navy. His daddy went to the Navy. Junior didn't go to the Army, but his dad went to the Army. My dumb ass went to the Army. Alright? Of course, I went in at 37, and now I'm 42. I got fucked up. Okay? So, you know, it is what it is, and you gotta take the good with the bad sometimes. But, you know, everybody has their reasons for doing the things that they do. Mine was of a nature that I would rather not discuss. But, you know, I made my dad proud when I went to the Army. Even though I got honorably discharged and stuff. And, you know, he wasn't mad. He wasn't really thrilled about me going in the first place. He wasn't even thrilled when I told him I got infantry. He's definitely not happy about that because infantry dies. So, you know, it is what it is. And, you know, in closing, before I close out, you know, my dad never ever told me that I had to be better than him. It's just every fucking body else that it says when you're named Junior, you have to be better than your father at such and such of events. Okay, well, there's only one thing I've ever been better at than my father, and that's Kung Fu. Alright? My dad didn't do Kung Fu. He watched a lot of Kung Fu movies, but he didn't do Kung Fu. I, on the other hand, watched, made, and did Kung Fu. Right? You can check out any of my videos while they're here, but all of my stuff is coming soon, so, you know, since I'm pretty much forced into retirement, or at least into a semi-retirement, depending on what these doctors say, and if they allow me to do any kind of Kung Fu exercises, then you better bet your ass I'm getting back into the game. So until then, my name is James Williams Jr., and this has been Living Up to Your Father's Name, or Being a Junior is Hell. Alright? Thank you very much, and good night.